Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Ask Amity Show. And today we want to talk about what happens to a living trust after the trustee passes away. So typically in movies, you'll see there's often a scene where family and friends gather around their loved ones, attorney, after he or she passes away. And then the attorney proceeds to read the will of the trust in front of everyone. And it's this big dramatic scene of who's going to get what. But unfortunately, what happens on the big screen isn't exactly what happens in reality. So the problem, since trusts are not public documents, they're not really reported anywhere, who actually can view the information stated in the trust?
So the first person typically would be the successor trustee, right? So the successor trustee is appointed by the individual who created the trust. So now that the individual who created the trust has passed away, then the successor trustee essentially steps in and is responsible for settling the trust. And the successor trustee will need to review the document, notify the beneficiaries, and follow any special instructions that are indicated in the trust documents. So a lot of times this is when we get a phone call, usually by the successor trustee, asking us, the attorneys, for some assistance in how to process the administration of the trust and all the fiduciary responsibilities that are involved. And so, the successor trustee essentially is responsible. He or she is responsible for making sure that all the instructions are followed, all the assets are accounted for and distributed according to the trust. And the next person that would likely get contacted would be the beneficiary. So, once the successor trustee goes through the documents, maybe speaks to an attorney, then this is when we are, technically required to contact the beneficiary with a copy or give them the access to the copy of the trust to help them understand the process and what they're getting. And then if the beneficiary is a minor, then it gets a little more complicated, and this minor beneficiary would need to have a legal guardian get involved, either to hold whatever asset for them in a blocked account, or have an appointed guardianship where they're going to be on title through the court to hold a real property on behalf of the minor.
Sometimes there are assets that are left outside the trust. When that happens, the personal representative named in the will would also receive a copy of the trust. So this is necessary in order for the personal representative to be able to start a probate action in order to transfer those assets into the trust, either a Hague petition or a probate action, depending on the scenario. So in this case, the personal representative named in the will would receive a copy of the trust, and some of their responsibilities are pretty close in line with the trustee, the successor trustee. And so the personal representative would need to do and have similar duties in the probate process as the trustee would, their duties in the trust administration process. So it can get pretty involved. A lot of these roles really are hard to fulfill. These duties are hard to fulfill without the assistance of an attorney. So the last person is your attorney, the attorney that you hire to help you with the process of administering the trust or going through the probate process. So this person is going to help you notify the beneficiaries and prepare necessary documents in order to facilitate a smooth administration process.
So, working through this, what we call trust administration, can be a little tricky, and especially, when you lose a family member, you might be going through a lot, and it's, having to do these kind of accounting for and, contacting the beneficiaries, it could be, quite burdensome on the trustee. the successor trustee. And so we're here to help. So anytime you feel overwhelmed with the process, anytime you are uncertain of the procedures, feel free to reach out to us. Cindy and I are really happy to help. And we're gonna talk to you and provide free consultations. If you have any specific questions, feel free to give us a call, and we'll be there to help. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and we'll be in touch soon.